And while the rest of the nation are under heat alerts, we are not under those heat advisories across South Florida or extreme heat warnings. And you can see just to our north as you get closer to Lake Okeechobee, north of the lake, that's where feel like conditions 106 to 112 for today. As we look across the rest of the nation, even up into the Dakotas, feeling like 110 around Memphis, 107 to 115 through Wednesday, and even the Carolinas 110 to 115. Now across the nation, heat criteria for these alerts are very different. For us, it needs to be 105 for 2 or more hours. But as you get into places like Kansas City and further to the north, that differs because it can get a little bit hotter there than it can in Miami, which seems a little odd, right? But they are allowed to fluctuate a little bit more because they're not as close to the equator as we are. We're further south. And so we don't see the extreme heat changes that the rest of the nation sees. And that's all from this ridge of high pressure. Severe storms are riding around that ridge. And so as that starts to move further away from us, which is dominating our forecast, keeping us dry for today, we start to get in on a change of a pattern. So the ridge isn't going to dominate as we get into our Tuesday, which means rain chances actually start to ramp up as that moves from east to west. So for today, it's going to keep us hot. It's going to keep us humid. And then each day as we get into Monday, Tuesday, a little bit more of a rain chance starts to build in. But even so, rain is so minimal in the forecast for our weekend. Definitely enjoy it before it gets just a little bit unsettled with a daily downpour possible. As we're looking over Miami, there's still a little bit of haze on the horizon. That's that Saharan dust that's out there that is going to continue to keep us with mainly rain-free skies, but it's going to allow us to warm up and those feel like conditions get close to 100. So air temperatures climb back into the low 90s today. We're shooting for around 92. Calm winds are going to allow us to warm up as well. Rainfall in the forecast, again, very, very low for today. We're talking less than 10%. So First Alert Live Doppler is quiet for now. And like I mentioned, that Saharan dust, you can see a little bit of a thicker plume closer to the Bahamas that will move across South Florida today. And it's going to keep us with a little bit of a haziness and milkiness to the blue sky. That will kick out of here overnight, and then we'll start to build in that chance for rain. And you can see it. There's that ridge of high pressure that's keeping us nice and dry at the surface. But this will move away in the extended outlook. But with that said, we're not looking at much rain even as that moves away. Looking at the tropical outlook, there is no tropical development over the next 7 days. There are several waves out there, nothing that we need to be concerned about, nothing being monitored by the National Hurricane Center. So as of right now, yes, we see them. We see some of that thunderstorm activity, but nothing that we need to be concerned about. There's a lot of Saharan dust, not just around our area, but as you can see into the open waters, which is helping kind of limit any strong chances for development. But for today, you can see Saharan dust still in the forecast. Notice an overnight chance for some showers possible. So you might wake up, maybe a few areas seeing some wet pavement, a shower around early. Not everyone sees rain first thing in the morning. Even for the afternoon tomorrow, any showers that will fire up will be daytime heat driven. Down through the Keys, a better chance. Most of Broward, Miami-Dade should stay mainly rain free. That's going to push into the Everglades on the sea breeze. So not looking at much for Monday, but notice Tuesday. A little bit more unsettled. Winds shift a little bit, so we'll see showers in the Keys to kick off the day, and then at any point on Tuesday, an afternoon downpour here or there possible. Not a washout. It will be off and on, but this is kind of the setup that we'll see as we get towards the middle of the week. And so notice in that forecast, it's hot, hazy, humid today, isolated chance on Monday, mainly into the Everglades, and then just a little bit more unsettled Tuesday, Wednesday. Even so, it's off and on, and temperatures staying in the low 90s. Feel like conditions into the low 100s.